strong team. They're going to run right at you. It's going to be a very physical game up front with the West Essex line. Dover, on the other hand, is a quick team. The running backs of Dover look like the Pistons on a supercharged engine, Steve. They go around that corner so fast, you never even see them after they scored a touchdown. It's going to be a great game. The power of West Essex versus the speed of Dover.
And part of that speed is in the person of senior halfback safety Mike White, a first-team all-conference performer last season.
What a great player. You watch this kid all week in practice and in pregame, you can't believe that he's still in high school. He was so quick and so fast. West Essex is going to have to stop him from finding the corner and making the big play. He's made several big plays this year, and he may do so today. That may be the turning point in the game today, Steve.
Both these teams will keep it on the ground. West Essex moves behind a strong offensive line, and of course their senior fullback, number 32, Brian Griffel.
Steve, they call this guy the Tank, and they list him on the roster as 195 pounds. Well, I'd like to buy my filet mignon on that scale. This guy's got to go 225 pounds. It's unbelievable. I don't think Patton's Army could stop this guy, let alone Dover up the middle. He's going to be a big player today for West Essex.
Dover has won 30 of its last 33 games. They've been in the playoffs 8 of the last 10 years. West Essex has had 5 straight winning seasons under Coach Ron Anello. We've set the stage. It should be a great ball game here this afternoon. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this.
Due to technical difficulties, we cannot bring you the audio portion of this part of the program. Please stay tuned.
The larger iron division of the Iron Hills with schools such as Randolph, Roxbury, Group 4 schools. And Brian, the Hills division, traditionally a very competitive league. Dover, West Essex, West Morris has moved up to the larger division, but Mendham still remains one of the powers.
That's right, Steve. The Iron Hills Conference is really a twofold conference. There's teams at the top of the conference, as you stated, which West Essex and Dover are part of the conference, and also you have perennial powerhouse Mendham. Dover, West Essex, Mendham, and Parsippany are really right now at the top of that conference. The second lower tier of that conference is Hanover Park, Mount Olive, Booton, and Parsippany Hills. Morris Hills is on the cusp of the conference right now, but the big battle is between those top 3 teams.
And Dover will be at Mendham in 2 weeks in the big showdown of the 1994 season in the Iron Hills, but West Essex, with a victory here today, could really shake things up. The Knights will receive. Dan Mena will kick off for the Dover Tigers. At the 8-yard line, cutting up to the right side, down to the 34-yard line, Timmy DiLorenzo, the sophomore, who's moved in as a return man. He starts at the right halfback position. Let's set the Knight offense for this afternoon. Starting at the line of scrimmage, Cesare, LaForgia, Rulis, Catanzano, and Lem across the front 5. They're big and strong up front for the West Essex Knights. The ends and receivers in the backs, Ricky Craw, Darren DeFazio, Brian Griffel, the big fullback, the tank, Timmy DiLorenzo, the right halfback, and Scott DiLorenzo, the right end. And at quarterback, Nick Luciano, the senior, 15 of 31, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Griffel on first down, picks up 5 yards up to the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. And that right off the bat, Brian, we see good movement there off the belly series for West Essex. Checking it over, defensive line, Alfredo Traverso, Mike Evans, he's their co-captain, Jeremy Bryant, William Carroll, and Martell Ellis is the other end. The linebackers, Fellow Lewis, Jarvis Goldberry, Ralph Marrero, and the secondary, Paul Antoine, all-conference player Mike White, and Rafael Martin. On second down, DeFazio across the 40, picks up 3 yards up to the 42-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and 2 situation for the Knights. DeFazio, the junior left halfback, comes in with 168 yards rushing, a 5.4 average. And this is nothing surprising, Brian. 3rd and short yardage. West Essex needs to get their drives going early in the ballgame.
Talking to Coach Anello before the game, he said this is going to be a game of our ball control, ground attack offense versus their big play, sweep type of offense. And so far it has been just that, Steve.
The big fullback Griffel gets the first down and more. He's up to the 47-yard line. First down for the West Essex Knights.
Steve, so far, West Essex has shown the tendency to run behind their right side. Eric Lem and Tim Cantanzo. They're going to go off tackle. They're going to go up the middle with Griffel. They call him the tank. He's not a tank. He's a whole division, Steve.
Coach Ronanello compares him to Norm Bulash, the old Philadelphia Eagle back. He is low to the ground. He's strong, and he's very steady. 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 47. Griffel across midfield picks up 6 yards on the play down to the 47 of Dover. It'll be 2nd and 4.
That was an impressive play, Steve. Dover is using a 53 defense. And if you see, there's 8 men up front for Dover. Still, West Essex and Griffel can find an opening up the middle and pick up 6 or 7 yards there.
2nd and 4 for the Knights at the 47 of Dover. DeFazio fumbles the ball, and it looks like the Dover Tigers have recovered. They have.
It is the Dover ball, no doubt. I think the key to that fumble might have been number 8, White, our man White. See, DeFazio gets the ball. He's got a nice hole, cuts up. And who's in there for it? That's right, number 8, and makes that play. He hits him hard, and he comes up in the bottom of the pile there.
Mike White, the all-conference safety, coming up with a hit. Fellow Lewis, number 36, was also in on the ball. 1st and 10 for the Dover Tigers.
Watch Dover try and get outside quickly here, Steve. Handoff. There he is.
There's Mike White, and a nice job of penetration by Griffel to throw him for a 1-yard loss back to the 41-yard line. Let's look at the Dover offensive unit. Up front for the Dover Tigers, Martell Ellis, Mike Evans, Orlando Nieves, Chris Cole, and Ken Figueroa across the front. The backs and receivers, Dan Mena, the fullback, Mike White, Rafael Martin are the halfbacks. Jarvis Goldberry is the left end, Ralph Marrero the right end. And at quarterback, Steve Reptak, number 10, the senior, first-year starter, only 12 passes thrown all season, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Rafael Martin, good containment again by West Essex. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, about the 42. It'll be 3rd and 10. Great pursuit. That's a good sign for West Essex. Anthony Gareffa, number 28, coming up making the hit for the Knights. We'll check their defense. Mike Cesare, Brendan Johnston, Tim Catanzano, the nose guard, Eric Lem, Scott DiLorenzo, their fine defensive end. Mario D'Angelo and Brian Griffel are the linebackers. The monster back is Mark Keenan. And then the secondary, Chris Cardella, the free safety, Darren DeFazio, and Anthony Gareffa, who just made that tackle, is the cornerback. 3rd and 10 for the Dover Tigers from their own 42. Reptak looking to pass. Cesare pursuing him. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. It'll be short of a first down and present our first punting situation for the Dover Tigers.
Steve, this first series so far bodes very well for the West Essex Knights. They've been able to shut down the Dover speed to the outside. They probably practiced against that all week, though. Coach Anello surely had his team practicing against the old wing tee buck sweep of Tubby Raymond legend.
Ronanello in his 8th season, former Montclair High player, former Trenton State player, 36, 30, and 2.
Those stats are deceiving, though, Steve. Coach Anello's winning record. as he has had nothing but winning seasons following his first 2 years here at Dover. Has established quite a program within Essex County.
Mike White punts, and all alone is Renshaw across the 20, across the 30. A nice return to the 35-yard line by R.C. Renshaw. And the West Essex Knights will take over 1st and 10 from their own 35. We should set our officials for this afternoon. We mentioned the referee, Jack Ducaire. The umpire is Al Moran. The linesman is George Strank. The line judge, Joe Rosania. And the back judge, Ken Smutko. Good Iron Hills Conference crew. 1st and 10 for the Knights. 6:58 to go, first quarter, no score. Timmy DiLorenzo with a nice pickup of 8 yards on the play across the 40 to the 43-yard line. A 2nd and 3, a nice inside handoff to DiLorenzo, and he's come on strong the last couple of weeks.
Watch closely, Steve, as the quarterback has 2 great fakes. A great fake to the fullback. Looks like he's going to keep it, but slips the ball to DiLorenzo, who takes the ball around the end. Very effective play for the Knights.
2nd down. Greffel gets the 1st down, and he's down to the 48-yard line. Another 1st down for the West Essex Knights. 1st and 10 from their own 48. Greffel showing great explosion. Senior captain, 8.1 yards per carry. Of course, he had a big 278-yard outing against Hanover Park in the season-opening 34-6 victory, the 2nd highest single-game total in West Essex history behind Jimmy Sullivan's 325 yards back in 1980. 1st and 10. Griffel again, and he's brought down at the 49, a pickup of 2. That time, good penetration by the defensive front for the Dover Tigers.
That's the first opportunity Dover's actually had to stop the tank. They have not been able to shut him down, but that play they did. How did they do it? They sent their linebackers up through the middle and said, just stop that man. Dover has an extra linebacker, and he's probably going to be assigned directly to the fullback.
2nd and 8. And penalty flags, probably a false start. We'll wait for the officials' call. It is a procedure penalty against West Essex. They'll move it back 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Thus far, Steve, 2 mistakes have cost West Essex positive drives. On the first drive, they had to fumble. They were moving the ball easily downfield against the Dover defense. And now, a penalty slows down this drive.
Luciano over his center, Vic Rulis. Again, DiLorenzo coming over from his right halfback position. Picks up 2 yards. Back to the 47. It'll be 3rd and 11.
This is almost like watching a game back in the 1800s, Steve. We have not seen anything in the air.
2 classic wing T teams. Reptak had looked to pass for Dover on 1 down, decided to take it himself. But you're right, it's been all the ground. Strict wing T football. Ron Anello loves, he says, scouting Belleville as a Montclair assistant. He became enamored of the wing T and has brought it here to West Essex. 3rd and 11. Griffel, quick handoff up the middle. The tank is down for a 1st down at the Dover 41-yard line. Pickup of 12 yards on the play, and a impressive run by the tank.
Wow, watch him run over the defensive back. He just runs him, boom! Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Dial 911. Somebody in that team's going to need a little help to remember that play.
The tank. 41-yard line of Dover. Deepest penetration so far for either team. 3:58. Clock moving, first quarter, no score. Steve Tober, Brian Winter from Travis Field in North Caldwell. Dover, West Essex. DeFazio cuts down for a 2-yard gain to the 38.
Steve, right now in the trenches, there's a battle going on. These are 2 very physical football teams. Coach Anello, before the game, described this as the usual war between Dover and West Essex. These teams have not lost any love for each other have not lost any love for each other over the past year. Last year, a 21-20 squeaker. So far, it looks like we're going to come down to that right now.
2nd and 8 for the West Essex Knights, the 39 of Dover. Luciano looking to pass. He's got DiLorenzo wide open. He's down inside the 10-yard line, or right at the 10. A first down for the West Essex Knights. Little surprise there.
A great timing for that call. West Essex has been extremely successful with the fullback riffle up the middle. They send the fullback riffle up the middle once again, sucking in all the Dover defenders, pulling the ball at the last second. Quarterback Luciano rolls to the sideline and finds the big tight end.
29-yard reception by DiLorenzo. 1st and goal. Griffel down to the 6, pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 6. The big fullback, Scott DiLorenzo, his 6th reception of the season. The senior, the older brother of Timmy, 5'11", 175-pound senior. Great setup there, Luciano with a play fake, finding DiLorenzo down the right sideline. A nicely placed ball. DiLorenzo out of bounds after the nice catch. And the Knights are looking to punch one in here. 2:34 to go, clock moving. No score.
Go.
DeFazio is pummeled
Dover
for a
shifted
loss of 4 yards on the play. Great penetration. Fellow Lewis, along with Paul Antoine, the left cornerback, coming up.
Dover shifted into an 8-man front here, Steve. They're not going to let West Essex run the ball at all. Good tackling form here by the defender. Drives him up. Here comes the cavalry for Dover.
Paul Antoine from his cornerback position coming up to finalize that hit. A loss of 3. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 9. Renshaw wide right.
Look for a play-action pass, Steve.
Fumble. Luciano picks it up. Tosses it, and wide. Intended for DeFazio, incomplete. It'll set up a field goal possibility here for DiLorenzo, who's a pretty accurate place kicker, Timmy.
Luciano just loses the ball here somehow. He wanted to pull that ball out. Uh-oh, where'd that ball go? There it is, I'll get it. Here he goes, gets the ball, now he's gonna try and make a play out of this and get it on its same play that they ran the other way.
Chris LaForgia, the left guard, moves over to snap for the attempted field goal, which will be a 26-yard attempt by Tim DiLorenzo, the sophomore. He has not kicked a field goal, but he's had 12 of 15 extra points. The snap is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. Tim DiLorenzo, with a 26-yard field goal, has put the West Essex Knights up 3-0.
Steve, so far it's been all West Essex. Their ground game has kept them in control of the ball, just like Coach Anello wanted. This has precluded Dover Tigers' ability to make the big play. Dover's only had the ball for 3 plays this whole quarter, Steve. It's been all West Essex.
The big play in that drive, the 29-yard completion from Luciano to Scott DiLorenzo. Timmy DiLorenzo on 4th and goal from the 9 kicks a 26-yard field goal. So the two brothers, 9 plays, 57 yards, and DiLorenzo with a 26-yard field goal. The Knights are up 3-0 with 1:37 to go in the first quarter.
They drove the ball at will on both of those drives, only getting 3 points out of both of the drives, though, Steve. So that does keep the Dover Tigers in the game.
And now this is an opportunity to see the speed of Dover. Rafael Martin, number 5, who's deep, has already returned a kickoff 91 yards against Don Bosco for a touchdown this year. Also, fellow Lewis, who's an up man, has returned 160 yards for a touchdown against Putin. So dangerous speed on the return for the Dover Tigers as Tim DiLorenzo will kick off. Rafael Martin is also the Morris County long jump champion, a tremendous athlete, the deep man for Dover. It'll be Martin at the 10. He cuts back across the grain, breaks one tackle, and is finally brought down at the 27-yard line. So pretty good coverage by the West Essex Knights, and Dover will take over 1st and 10.
Coach Anello knew his team had to do 2 things two things this week, Steve, to stop the Dover Tigers. Number one, preclude any kickoff returns, and number two, stop them on the sweep play. So far, he stopped them on the sweep play, and excellent coverage right there by the Knights to stop the...
Coach Jerry Tardivi, 93-31-2, his 13th year, has guided Dover to 8 playoff appearances in the last 10 years, including 2 Group 2 state championships. Reptak keeps on first down, picks up some nice yardage across the 30. He's out of bounds to the 33-yard line, a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Dover Tigers.
Although Reptak has not thrown the ball very often this season, he does have a nice release, a very quick release, and a precise arm. He also has great feet. He can make a big play, and he will be an influence and a major factor, I think, in this game. Dover's going to have to throw the ball. They may not have thrown it so far this year, but I think to win this game, they're going to have to open it up a little.
They say he went out of bounds at the 31, so it'll be 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Coach Steve Reptak, his first year as a starter. They hand off to Martin. Again, great containment. Anthony Gareffa coming up from his cornerback position. He's made a couple of big tackles.
The West Essex defensive backs are showing some excellent speed. They're being able to contain the Dover outside running game.
A gain of 4 on that play. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Dover.
Mike Evans leading the way. Unfortunately, his back almost outruns him. And the West Essex defense is right there. West Essex defense is showing some excellent speed thus far.
They have what they call the anchor and loop ends. Today they're trying to anchor those ends a little bit more than usual to cut down the speed factor for Dover. Big 3rd and 3 situation, flag thrown. Could have too much time, and it will be against Dover. That's a big one.
Oh, that hurts, that hurts. Dover had 3rd down, 3 to go. They're starting to move the ball. Opportunity to get a first down here in the game. The first down they would have had.
See Ron Anello just a moment ago, also his assistant Dave Montgomery, who's showing some defensive signals. There's Jerry Tardivi on the Dover side. Dave Montgomery of West Essex, their line coach, in his 20th season here at WE. This Tardivi has never had a losing season in 12 years. His worst was a 4-4-1. The handoff to Mike White. Finds some running room. He's got a first down. He's up to midfield. He's down to the 45. He's down to the 42. First down, Dover. The biggest run of the day so far for the Tigers. Mike White breaking free.
As you can see, Steve, on that play, Mike White has exceptional speed. This is a little counter play Mike White's running here. Breaks it back against the grain. Little hip movement. Out to the outside he goes. Mike White is definitely going to be playing college football somewhere with speed like that.
A 24-yard pickup for the Tigers. And that will mark the end of the first quarter. West Essex has moved in front 3-0. We'll take a timeout. Be back with more right after this.
Crossing the street, driving a car, or even eating a meal. These are some common abilities that many of us take for granted every day. Join us as we explore, along with the Kessler Institute, issues that affect the physically disabled in our area. Tune in for Abilities, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., only on Suburban Cablevision TV3.
We're back at Travis Field, and you get a good look at the tundra of this beautiful facility here in North Caldwell on the campus of West Essex Regional High School. Start of second quarter action. The Dover Tigers have a first down at the West Essex 42-yard line after that 24-yard pickup by Mike White. The Knights holding a 3-0 lead on the 26-yard field goal by Tim DiLorenzo. Anytime you have that speed factor, Brian Winter, we saw it just there with Mike White. You can create big gainers very quickly.
That's right. He can change the nature of the game in a single play. Dover is never out of the game with the speed that they have with Mike White.
Handoff to the fullback, Mena. Picks up 3 yards down to the 39.
This game today comes down to execution, Steve. Both teams play a wing T. That means all week long, their defense is practiced against a wing T offense.
We have a Dover player down on the field.
Can't see who it is right now, but I don't see number 8.
We'll take a look at some first quarter statistics. West Essex with a slight edge in rushing, 52 to 35. The 29-yard pass play to DiLorenzo, which set up the field goal. 81 total yards. And again, we don't expect much passing. Basically, the one Luciano pass, which was a big one to Scott DiLorenzo, brought the Knights from the 39 down to the 10-yard line. And on fourth down, Timmy DiLorenzo, the sophomore brother of Scott, booted the field goal.
Steve, we just may have seen the biggest play of the game. I think, although I'm not sure at this point, that may be Mike White down on the field.
If it is White, the all-conference safety and standout halfback, it would be a tremendous blow.
But we hope he's all right. This is a battle, though, Steve. Football is a violent sport, as you know, and anything can happen.
Take a look at the series between Dover and West Essex. Back in 1986, a very close one, 24-22. Dover then crushed the Knights in 87, and again in 88. 1989, 26-14, the one tie, 14-14 and 90. And West Essex won the only game they have captured in the series in 1991, 21-14. And Dover the last 2 seasons, including last year's exciting 21-20 contest where West Essex failed on a 2-point conversion. And Dover leads the series 6-1-1. But it's been a very competitive series for the most part.
Ronanello, the coach of West Essex.
It's Mike Evans, Brian, who is down on the field, one of the co-captains. Now, it's not White, but Evans is extremely valuable, the senior left guard and defensive tackle, the second leading tackler on the team. He had 12 tackles last week against Parsippany in a 28-7 Dover victory. Evans is also a standout on the line of scrimmage.
Steve, Mike Evans is important as an offensive guard because of the offense that they run. Mike Evans will lead the charge for the Dover running backs, pulling around the end both ways, and more importantly, pulling on the quick inside trap, which the fullback, when the fullback gets the ball, which is the counter play to the buck sweep, which Dover runs so effectively.
Extremely effectively. Looking ahead on TV3, time in. High school soccer will be the subject with host Paul Spahala. Coaches from Johnson, Governor Livingston, Bloomfield, and South River. And the new football top 10 you can always catch on Monday at 6:30. And again on Saturday at noon on TV3. Time in. 2nd and 7. Martin down to the 35-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Tigers.
Rob Martin's stats, as you can see, Steve, he's an exceptional back. He's run for 480 yards on only 41 carries this year and has 6 TDs. I think Coach Tardivi is going to keep running that play in the hopes that one of those sweep plays can break wide open, and one of his halfbacks will make it to the end zone. Although he may not make big yardage on every play, sooner or later, one of those backs is going to break it big.
Great penetration, and the Knights come up with a big 3rd down play. Mario D'Angelo coming up from his linebacker position along with Mike Cesare from his defensive end spot.
Excellent call by the West Essex coaching staff. They blitz right into that play. And Griffel on the bottom of that pile.
The 2 linebackers, Griffel and D'Angelo, combine.
That was the same play which White had broken before for some 24 yards.
A loss of a yard. It'll be 4th and 4 at the 36-yard line. 10:16 to go, second quarter, 3-0 West Essex. Whistle, and it looks like we're going to have
another delay of game for West Essex.
Another delay of game against Dover.
Excuse me, Steve.
You don't usually see that, Brian, at week 5. Your concentration level is usually at a higher pitch by that point.
Unusual mistakes for a program so well respected as Dover. Unusual for a Tardivi team.
Tardivi not happy with that.
Jerry Tardivi, of course, one of the deans of Morris County coaches, 13 years. And that's one of the key points in building a winning football program, consistency over the years. Sure, he's had a different coach here and a different coach there to his staff, but he has been there. He has run the same offense. Probably the junior football program runs a similar offense.
The kick is blocked. And the Knights scrambling back at the 33-yard line. Coming up with the block was Eric Lem, number 52. He also was in on the recovery, and that is a huge play on 4th down. Mena has the kick blocked.
Eric Lem comes right through the middle there, drives 2 Dover linemen back into the play, makes the block.
It bounces off of DiLorenzo.
That's right.
And there's Lem, who blocked the kick, comes up to make the recovery.
And Griffel gets in there too. Lem, DiLorenzo, and Griffel all in on that play. Excellent play by Lem. That's hustle.
West Essex, great field position. 1st and 10 at the Dover 33-yard line. Luciano, quick opener on 1st down, completes it to Renshaw.
Lem is a 6'2", 245-pound tackle, Steve. Showed some good speed and strength getting through the Dover offensive line.
Gain of 3 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
R.C. Renshaw has had 4 receptions for 23 yards so far this season.
Had a touchdown last week against Booton. As the sun pops out more fully here at Travis Field. DeFazio, fumble. The Knights are saying they recovered down at the 26 as that ball slipped away from the junior halfback.
There's a battle going down the bottom of that pile, Steve.
And it is West Essex ball. Now the 26.
You see both linemen pulling, and he just loses control of the ball. Never got that ball tucked away. They call that the 5-position tuck. You got to get all 5 parts of your body around that ball to protect it.
Looked like Mike Cesare, the tackle for West Essex, fell on that one. It'll be 3rd and 1. Griffel has the 1st down, and he bowls his way to the 20-yard line.
Wow.
1st and 10 for the Knights.
Steve, did you see that? He was carrying 5 or 6 Dover defenders with him in that pile. He's only 5'7", Steve, and they do say he's 195 pounds in the charts, but I don't know about that. He looks more like a 220, 225 pounder.
1st and 10 at the 21 for the West Essex Knights. 8:23, clock moving, 3-0 West Essex. Luciano looking to run the ball, picks up a nice block, and is finally brought down at the 14-yard line, a gain of 6. Nice running there by the senior signal caller, Nicky Luciano.
Luciano is being led on that play by Chris LaForgia, the 6', 180-pound junior guard, doing an excellent job leading the play.
Great pulling action by LaForgia. Catanzano, the other guard, Vic Rulis, the fine center. West Essex very strong at the line of scrimmage. So Sarah and Lem, the tackles. 2nd down, Griffel. Inside the 10, he's down to the 7. Another 1st down for the Knights. It'll be 1st and goal.
You see there that Griffel is not only a tank who can barrel his way straight ahead, but watch how he changes the vector of his attack. Breaking it to the outside, outrunning the Dover defenders, picking up a good yardage on a strong running play.
7 yards on that play. 1st and goal at the 7-yard line for West Essex.
West Essex must change its philosophy down here as Dover stacks the defensive line up front.
Griffel inside the 5, down to the 4.
Maybe time for Coach Anel to call one of his famous play-action plays as Dover has moved 8 or 9 people right up onto the line of scrimmage.
Jeremy Bryant that time in on the tackle for Dover, their nose guard. Right now, the West Essex offensive line showing some good blocking.
They are strong up front, Steve. Cesare, LaForgia, Rulis, Cantananzo, and Lem are doing the job well.
DeFazio finds some running room. He's in for the touchdown. Darren DeFazio with a 5-yard touchdown run. And the West Essex Knights are out in front, 9-0.
West Essex looks like a machine going up and down the field. With the exception of a penalty and a fumble, they have been flawless thus far. Watch the guard. Once again, LaForgia, number 78, leading the way. And Darren DeFazio goes in standing up. That's an excited young man right there, Steve. Excellent job by the West Essex front line, leading the way for Darren DeFazio for 6.
Timmy DiLorenzo in for the extra point. R.C. Renshaw to hold. LaForgia on the snap. Placement is up. The kick is good. West Essex has taken a 10-0 lead here with 6:33 to go. 7 plays, 35 yards, and the DeFazio 5-yard touchdown run. That's set up, of course, by the block punt by Eric Lamb.
Unusual game thus far, Steve. Dover has been unable to move the ball except for one run, an inside counter play by White, and they have been unable to stop the West Essex offense. They've made critical mistakes, 2 delays of game, as well as a block punt. Unusual for a Tardivi team. I'm sure he's not happy on the sidelines right now. He wants to get his team back in the game. And of course, with Dover's ability to run back the kicks all the way, this may be the situation which can pump his team up and get him back in.
Well, last time Martin was stopped at his own 27 on the return. Rafael Martin, who runs a 4.5 40, returned a kick 91 yards against Don Bosco for a touchdown earlier in the season. He's very dangerous as the prime deep man for Dover. West Essex has shown good coverage on their special teams so far. Timmy DiLorenzo will kick off. This is a game so far you could call a mild upset in the brewing. Dover picked by most people to win this football game. Trying to keep it away from Martin. Across the 30, Adam Thomas, one of the up men for the Dover Tigers, returns it to the 32-yard line. Will it be 1st and 10 for the Dover Tigers?
Let's see what Coach Tardivi has up his sleeve right now, Steve.
Looking ahead on TV3, JFK Perth Amboy, Saturday the 29th at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 9:30. Greater Middlesex Conference White Division action. The JFK Mustangs under Joe DeMario, who were the Central Jersey Group 2 finalists last year before losing to Manasquan. And they are strong once again. 1st and 10 at the 32 for Dover. Rafael Martin. Nice pursuit by the end. Scott DiLorenzo, who stops him after a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Tigers.
Steve, everybody talked about the speed of the Dover backfield coming into this game. But what we did not understand is just how quick the West Essex defensive backs were. Anthony Gareffa, Mark Keenan, Darren DeFazio, and Chris Cardell are coming up from their safety positions and making the play. They have shown little fear for the Dover speed to the outside. And that is what's shutting down the Dover offense right now.
West Essex with a 3 deep, Gareffa, DeFazio, and Cardella, and then a monster back, Mark Keenan.
Dover came into this game, though, Steve, rather untested. Even though they always make the group playoffs, so far their schedule has not been all that tough, playing Don Bosco, Par Hills, and Booton, and then last week an undermanned Parsippany.
Dover won the Group 2 state championship in 1984, defeating Warren Hills 26-17. And then in 1992, their 11-0 team, they beat Summit in the final 22-0. Tardivi, 8 playoffs in 10 years, 7 wins and 6 losses in the playoffs, 6 straight years in the playoffs from 84 to 89, and they're hoping to get back there after a 1-year absence last year. And a down year, so to speak, at 7-2, Brian. How many teams would love to have a down year at 7-2 as they did in 1993? And West Essex won the NJSIA football titles in 74, the computer title the year before the playoffs. And I have a trivia question here for you in a moment, Brian, on that team. And then in 1980, they were number 1 in the state. Who was the tri-captain and starting center for that 74 West Essex team?
Trapuka. I don't know. I have no idea. Steve, in 1974, I was in 2nd grade. Oh, how could I forget? Not Kelly Trapuka, Steve Tober.
Yes, a very memorable year. On 2nd down, Mike White is up to the 40-yard line for a pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Tigers as Mike White tries to sweep outside. Chris Chapuka, of course, was on the 80 team, Brian Winter, with Jim Sullivan and company. As we see Mike White, the senior halfback, getting the handoff.
Mike White showing that speed, being led around the corner by his guards, but once again, right there, making the play were the defensive backs of West Essex. They have been practicing against that sweep all week, and they are not going to let it beat them. Unfortunately for West Essex, sooner or later, one of these sweeps is going to break loose and be a touchdown.
Martin in motion. Reptak keeps. He's got the first down. He's across midfield. He's down to the 49-yard line. A gain of 11 on the play, and a big first down for the Dover Tigers.
On that play, everybody, all the defensive players for West Essex were watching and watching and watching the halfbacks and the fullbacks.
But we have a penalty on that play for motion.
Coach Sardivi is obviously steaming over there. Every time they get a play, there's a mistake.
Might have been Martin who might have gone a little too late on the motion as the ball was about to be snapped. That's a killer, because that was a beautiful run by Reptak around the left side. Instead of a first down in West Essex territory, they're now back at their own 35-yard line in a 3rd and 18 situation.
Big mistake. Mistakes will kill you. As we said in the beginning, Steve, it's the effective running of both offenses that will make the difference. Who can get the job done? And when you make mistakes, that's not getting the job done.
3rd and 18 as White goes in motion. Reptak to pass. Now under pressure, he decides to take it. He finds a seam. Gets to the 41-yard line, well short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 3.
Reptak had a man open down the sidelines. I don't think he saw him with the onslaught of West Essex defenders. Look at the explosion of Steve Reptak. He sees a little hole and boom, he's got himself 12 yards. Not a 12-yard gain, but less than a 12-yard loss with that explosion, putting his nose down and running ahead.
And it'll be interesting to see if Dan Mena, the punter, or excuse me, Mike White, the punter, backs up further after having his punt blocked the last time. He's only 10 yards on the snap, which is not the usual distance. West Essex, the kick is a low one. It bounces off.
Wow.
A defender at the line of scrimmage, and Wessex gets tremendous field position at their own 39. A strange turn of events there.
This time they get the punt off, but the punt goes straight ahead, a line drive. Boom.
Hit the side of the foot of White. Bounced off of Mark Keenan, the Mounster back, number 55 for West Essex. Another break for the Knights. So far, the kicking game hurting Jerry Tardivi and the Dover Tigers. They trail 10-0. 4-minute warning now given.
Steve, as you know, football players wear lots of pads, but they have a little pad they have to wear. They call it the butt pad, and players always want to know why you got to wear that butt pad. That's why, because sometimes,
DeFazio for 5, down to the 35. We're going to mark it to 36. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Knights.
But that, Steve, that certain little pad that protects the backside of a player, well, it's especially important when you're in a punting situation. Sometimes those punters just line drive them right into the backside.
3:17 to go in the first half. Now a timeout by the Knights. They're calling an official's timeout right now for an equipment check.
If the Knights can go in and score with only 3 minutes to go in this half, this will be almost an unbelievable first half for the Knights. Nobody expected this, Steve.
DiLorenzo down to the 32 for a pickup of 3.
Steve,
It'll
both
be
teams.
3rd and 4.
Steve, both teams have run about 3 plays apiece. Not that they've only run 3 plays, but they've run the same 3 plays over and over and over again. The buck sweep, the trap, and the belly play.
Very prototype Tubby Raymond Delaware wing tee type clubs.
These two coaches could be the president and vice president of the cult of the wing tee.
Griffel gets the first down. He's down to the 25-yard line. 8-yard pickup by the big fullback. And the West Essex Knights may try to punch another one in here with 2:28 to go in the first half. They already lead 10-0.
Great block. Great blocks up front by the West Essex offensive line, Mike Cesare and Chris LaForgia. Going over that left side, Cesare, 6'3", 225-pound athletic tackle. He's all muscle.
DeFazio gets down to the 18-yard line. Pickup of 7. A nice run by the left halfback, Darren DeFazio, 5'9", 180-pound junior.
Watch the big tackle pull around, lead through. Gripple leading through the play, and DeFazio puts his nose down and picks up 5 extra yards after his initial hit. Good strong run and keeping those legs pumping.
Now the Dover Tigers have called for a timeout. The ball at the 18-yard line, a 2nd and 3 situation, 1:50 to go in the first half. 10-0 West Essex in a game which most of the so-called pundits of high school football, the Daily Record of Morristown and the Star Ledger picked Dover to win this game, and so far it's been all West Essex. Dover won the North Jersey Section 2 Group 2 titles in 1984 and 92. They were undefeated in 92. In fact, I saw Jesse Williams, their star All-State halfback, down at the field before the game. And Jesse, who played at Uppsala last year, unfortunately Uppsala dropping football, and he's in the process of transferring to Lambeth College in Tennessee.
That will be a steal for Lambeth College. Of course, Jesse Williams, one of the great players in Morris County football history. Dover has been a haven for running back, Steve. As you know, Bruce Ryan, 90-91. Mike White, of course, this year. Phil Conley, also from 91. And Big Jesse Williams, 1991. Big Jesse Williams, he's got to go about 235, 240.
And West Essex, 5 straight winning seasons, 2nd best behind Caldwell, which enters the season with 9.
Ronanello, I believe, is also an outstanding softball coach here at West Essex High School.
He's done a very good job with that program as well. On 2nd and 3, Luciano looking to throw. He's got plenty of time. Will take it himself. And he's brought down at the 16, just short of the first down. Should set up a 4th and 1 for the Knights. And the clock is still moving. 1:32 to go in the first half. Want to hope you'll stay tuned at halftime. We're going to have the West Essex High School band and also an interview with Quentin Unger, the former athletic director at West Essex, who was inducted into the West Essex Hall of Fame last night at the Hanover Manor. DeFazio has the first down and more. He's down to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for the West Essex Knights.
I believe West Essex still has 2 timeouts left in the half, Steve. And those timeouts will prove critical here. They can stop the clock, get their offense reset.
Great pull by LaForgia there, the left guard.
Also, Gripple. When you have Gripple leading the way for you, that's not bad. I wouldn't mind being an infantryman behind Gripple.
DeFazio gets it. He's going for the end zone. He's in for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Darren DeFazio puts the West Essex Knights in front 16-0 with a 7-yard touchdown run.
Besides all the fans here at West Essex on both the Dover and the West Essex side, I know the Mendham staff, football staff and team will be happy to hear that West Essex is beating Dover. This definitely changes the situation. Many people have predicted Dover to come into this game and dominate and set up a great game 2 weeks from now against Mendham.
DeFazio now with 4 touchdowns on the season. He has 2 here this afternoon. Tim DiLorenzo. The extra point attempt is wide, and the score remains West Essex 16, Dover nothing. 7 plays, 34 yards, capped by the DeFazio 7-yard TD run. And the West Essex Knights impressing for the hometown fans here at Travis Field in North Caldwell. They lead the Dover Tigers 16-0.
West Essex obviously is ready for this game today. Well coached, and they're executing almost perfectly, with the exception of a fumble and a delay of game penalty. They have been unstoppable thus far, building a 16-point lead against Dover. The Dover sideline looks very sad and very, very, very quiet. But don't worry, folks. Jerry Tardivi, one of the deans of Morris County football, will undoubtedly have his team ready to go for the second half. They'll come out like a bunch of killer bees just looking to bite something.
As long as the bees stay away from the press box, Brian. I have a tendency to attract yellow jackets this time of the year as they come out in the fall. Recapping the scoring, Tim DiLorenzo, a 26-yard field goal with 1:37 to go in the opening period. A 9-play, 56-yard drive, 3-0 West Essex. Then the blocked punt by Eric Lem, which set up a 7-play, 35-yard drive, capped by DeFazio's 5-yard touchdown run, 10-0 with the extra point by Tim DiLorenzo. And then DeFazio, just moments ago, the 7-yard TD run, 7 plays, 34 yards. Extra point is wide, 16-0 West Essex. Dominant fashion as well. And the Knights, of course, have taken advantage of poor special teams play, a blocked punt, and then a poorly off the side of the foot kick by Mike White, which gave West Essex great field position at the 39, which set up their last TD drive. DiLorenzo kicking off, and the very fleet-footed Rafael Martin at his own 7. And Martin's brought down at the 22-yard line. Great coverage. Vic Rulis, the center on the kickoff return team, kickoff coverage team, getting down there to tackle Rafael Martin. Great coverage by the West Essex Knights.
So far for West Essex, the two guys who have consistently been down there to make the plays have been the tackle, the left tackle, offensive left tackle for West Essex, Cesare and Rulis. That is a fantastic, athletically impressive movement for two offensive linemen to be the ones down there making the plays. That's very impressive, Steve.
We're down to 20 seconds in the first half. Counter, handoff to Martin, finds some good running room. Picks up 9 yards out to the 32-yard line. A timeout by Dover with 11 seconds to go in the first half.
Chris Cole leading the way for Martin. Gets out in front, makes a nice block there, breaks Martin free. But the defensive backs for West Essex once again making the plays. Anthony Gareffa, Mike Keenan, Darren DeFazio, and Cardello coming up big in this game.
Martin gets a 10-yard pickup, so it is a first down for the Tigers at the 32-yard line with 11 seconds to go in the first half.
They might have a trick play up their sleeve, Dover.
Looking ahead on TV3 Sports or another football coverage from the Iron Hills Conference Iron Division. Seton Hall Prep in East Orange, Saturday the 15th at 10:30, Sunday the 30th at 7:30 p.m.
Steve, if you look ahead to the playoff contentions, if Dover were not to come back and win this game.
Actually, that should be Saturday the 29th. Little problem with the graphic there. Saturday the 29th, Seton Hall and East Orange, and the 30th for a repeat broadcast, Brian. And I know Brian watches TV3 football telecast, not only the games he works.
You got to watch them all. It's always great games. Nothing better than high school football, Steve.
Reptac looking long for Malero. Overthrowing as Gareffa and DeFazio defend. We're down to 4 seconds. That play took 7 seconds to develop. Stay tuned at halftime for the very impressive show of the West Essex High School Band under director Joseph Telesco. And of course, Quentin Unger, the retired athletic director from West Essex, will be our halftime guest. The Hall of Fame inductees, we'll talk more about that with Quentin. Scotty Bradley, the former Seattle Mariner catcher, was inducted last night from the class of 1978, along with Ray Mignon, a great tackle on the 74 and 75 West Essex football teams. 2nd and 10, handoff to Martin, finds some running room. Rafael Martin gets down across midfield to the 48-yard line. Well, that will be the end of the first half. The West Essex Knights, in a strong offensive onslaught along the line of scrimmage, have moved out to a 16-0 lead over the Dover Tigers. Stay tuned for our halftime festivities. We'll be back right after this.
TV3, Suburban Cablevision's local provides the finest in local programming for the 42 communities we serve. The National Cable Television Association has recognized Suburban's commitment to local programming by presenting TV3 with over 30 ACE Awards, the industry's highest achievement for community programming. We pledge to continue to provide the best in local programming, from high school sports to informative talk shows and entertaining specials.
TV3, an industry leader, setting the standard and showing the way. Tune us in and see what we're all about.
And welcome back to Travis Field in North Caldwell, where West Essex leads Dover 16-0. Let's sit back and enjoy the music of the West Essex High School Marching Band under the direction of Joseph Telesco.
Hi, I'm your host, Michael Young, and this is Animals A to Z.
Are you an animal lover?
This is Nala. She's a 9-week-old African lion cub.
Are you curious about our four-legged friend?
He is a drug-smelling pig.
Join host Michael Young for everything you want to know about animals A to Z.
Here's to your life. Here's to your health. Here's to your well-being. Come with us on a journey that explores health and living issues that affect your lives each and every day. Join us on Journey to Wellness and watch professionals from the healthcare industry discuss these issues and more, Tuesdays at 9 p.m., only on Suburban Cablevision TV3.
Steve Tober with Quentin Unger at halftime here. West Essex leading Dover 16-0. Quentin Unger, the former athletic director at West Essex High School, inducted into the West Essex Athletic Hall of Fame last night. And Mr. Unger, I know you're a resident of Florida now and a former neighbor of mine in North Caldwell. It's great to see you up here this afternoon.
It was a pleasure for me to get up here for this festive occasion.
Now, Mr. Unger, the athletic department increased in stature during your 10-year tenure as AD at West Essex. Things have really grown in leaps and bounds. They have a great weight program and great girls athletics as well here.
The West Essex program has been developed since 1964, continuously grows, and it pleases me immensely to see so many fine, talented athletes as exhibited today in this football game. These kids are doing a great job today.
Mr. Unger, you must be impressed with the fact that West Essex now has a Hall of Fame, something that started the last couple of years. Some great members, Bill Wasilius, their strength coach. The class last night, Peter Andrich, the fine wrestler, Ray Mignone, I played football with at West Essex, a great class of athletes.
And Scott Bradley and a couple of fine women.
We can't forget Scotty Bradley, who, of course, played with the Seattle Mariners, was a quarterback on the 1977 West Essex night team. His brother Robbie, the soccer coach at Princeton, and Jeff writes for the Daily News covering the Yankees. West Essex had a great tradition, of course, the field hockey program under Linda Leamy as well.
She deserves all the accolades they can give her. It's absolutely phenomenal. She's had a great record. She'll continue to be a tough team that has to beat her, I'll tell you. You know, I think as things go on, I'm impressed since the time I left with the growth in the junior high school program. And it seems to me that the Board of Education has to give some serious thought to developing more playing fields for this group. You know, we got this great expanse of property back here facing the school from Grandview Avenue, and some thought ought to be given to utilizing some of that one of these days. You know, you can't continue to have 17, 20, 25 different athletic teams going year-round, needing outside facilities and sending them downtown in order to practice and things like that. So something seriously has to get done.
Well, we hope that progress is made. Quentin Unger, I want to thank you for coming by at halftime.
It's my privilege.
Quentin Unger, the retired athletic director at West Essex High School, inducted in the 1994 class in the Athletic Hall of Fame. I'm Steve Tober. The halftime score, 16-0. West Essex leading Dover. We'll be back with third quarter action right after this.
TV3, Suburban Cablevision's local origination channel, provides the finest in local programming for the 42 communities we serve. The National Cable Television Association has recognized Suburban's commitment to local programming by presenting TV3 with over 30 ACE Awards, the industry's highest achievement for community programming. We pledge to continue to provide the best in local programming, from high school sports to informative talk shows and entertaining specials. TV3, an industry leader, setting the standard and showing the way. Tune us in and see what we're all about.
And back at Travis Field in North Caldwell, West Essex leading Dover 16-0. Steve Tober, Brian Winter, and Brian, looking at some halftime statistics, West Essex holding an advantage here, 152 to 81 total yards.
Domination by the West Essex offense so far this game. Coach Ronanello, before the game, told us that he was counting on his team to control the ball and to thereby stopping any big plays from the Dover offense. Not what the statistics don't show, Steve, is the 2 punts and the 2 penalties, which stopped all the Dover drives and created the opportunities for West Essex. Of course, Lem blocking the punt in the first half, and then another punt being kicked off the side of the foot and being picked up in Dover territory by the West Essex offense. It's been all West Essex, Steve. Quite a surprise at Travis Field today.
And the Knights who come in at 3-1, looking to challenge along with Dover with Mendham in the Iron Hills division. Mendham currently leading with a 4-0 league record. Dover 3-0 in the league, 4-0 overall entering today's action, but they have their backs against it, down 16-0. The Dover Tigers, who have won 30 of their last 33 games, and this could be a rare defeat unless they come bouncing back. They will get the second half kickoff. We'll see if they can utilize their speed of Rafael Martin, their star return man, who has one kickoff return for a touchdown earlier this season against Don Bosco. He's been held in check, though. One return to the 27, another to the 24. And really, the Knights special teams on the limited action they've had have done a nice job on containing number 5, Rafael Martin.
Rafael Martin so far this half has rushed for 40 yards on 6 carries. That's slightly over 6 yards a carry. But once again, West Essex is making the plays, somehow precluding those first downs. And when Dover goes to punt, West Essex wreaks havoc.
Tim DiLorenzo, number 23, the sophomore, will kick off. Martin deep, along with Thomas and White. It'll be Thomas at the 11, across the 20, and DeFazio comes in to make the tackle at the 24-yard line, where Dover will take over 1st and 10. Looking ahead on TV3 on Monday, October 31st, I'll be sitting in for Paul Spahala in the host seat. We'll talk about every athlete's nemesis, the injury. Of course, Bill Wasilius will be one of our guests, the strength coach at West Essex, who's on the sidelines here this afternoon. There he is. Bill, who takes photos to put up in the very impressive weight room that West Essex has, and its gorgeous facility here in North Caldwell, placed in the middle school. The weight room is on 1st down. Dan Mena gets across the 30 for a 6-yard pickup, the junior fullback. Nice way to start things here in the third quarter for Dover.
Dover's keeping the ball on the ground, that proclivity for the ground game by the Dover offensive coaching staff. Mena takes the fullback belly play right up the middle, picks up a good gain. Maybe Dover's ready to go the second half here. We'll see, Steve.
2nd and 4 for the Dover Tigers. Mena again. There's a fumble on the play, although it was whistled.
And who has the ball, Steve? Who makes those plays? Griffel, the tank of West Essex.
He's been around the football all afternoon. He really has a nose for the ball, as the traditional cliche says. Short of a 1st down for Dover. See if they come in with a measurement. The ball sitting at the 33-yard line. It appears that he's a half a yard short, but we'll wait for the measurement.
Dover needs to get something going, and they need to do it now. Wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Tardivi go for this play. If he doesn't get the 1st down, he may just go for it.
Just want to mention the West Essex Hall of Fame inductees that came in last night. We interviewed Quentin Unger, former athletic director, at halftime. Joining him was Gene Kelly, the great wrestler, 1982 30-1 record that he had at 129 pounds. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame, along with Charles Parrington from 1966, Steve Sass, an outstanding soccer player from the class of 1974, Peter Andrich, 1976 wrestler, Raymond Yohn in football, 1976, Scotty Bradley, the former Seattle Mariner, class of 78, Susan Lombardi, 1984, Sheila Carroll, 1986, and the 1963 Gordon Cup Championship West Essex ice hockey team, and the 1966 golf team, all inducted into the Hall of Fame last night at the Hanover Manor for West Essex. It'll be 3rd and short for the Dover Tigers. Whistle as the handoff went to White. Here, an official timeout. Officials were not ready for that snap of the ball. You know, the Dover Tigers, Brian Winter, certainly miss their starting left guard, Mike Evans. Eric Talmadge came in for him in the 1st half when Evans went down with a leg injury. And they're certainly going to miss Talmadge in that wing T offense from his left guard position.
That's right, Steve. The guards are the critical aspect of the offensive line for the wing T. It's the guards who lead the running backs on the sweep play and on the quick trap play inside. People often say, if you want to know who has the ball with the wing T, follow the guards.
Now, this is a strange turn of events here. They're moving the ball just shy of the 35 and calling a 1st down for Dover. So that play apparently, that was the strangest thing that play was whistled before it was even completed. Yet they're moving the ball a half a yard further up and giving Dover the first down, as if that play was run.
Don't understand that, Steve. I do not understand that. It was whistled. Play looked like it was whistled dead. Maybe it was the old inadvertent whistle rule where you can do the play again or take the play where the ball is whistled dead.
From a Dover Tiger perspective, it's a positive development. 1st and 10 from the 35. The pitch to Mike White. White picks up 3 yards to the 38. Mark Keenan, the monster back, number 55, in on the tackle, along with some help from his teammates. West Essex has shown great pursuit this afternoon, Brian. The containment of the ends, and that was the key to this game. Scott DiLorenzo and Mike Cesare has been excellent, and Anthony Gareffa and Chris Cardella from the cornerback spots have done a nice job, along with R.C. Renshaw.
Another thing that's really impressive with West Essex, they are so excited about this game. They're an underdog. They don't think they should be the underdog. They're out here, and they're going to prove a point today to everybody in Morris County. That
2nd and 7, fumble on the handoff to Martin, and the West Essex Knights have recovered. A mishandle from Reptac to Rafael Martin.
Wow, Steve.
And Scott DiLorenzo came up with a fumble recovery, it does appear.
Ball just pops loose on the handoff. West Essex is right there. Everything's going West Essex way today. Steve, this is a coach's nightmare. Sometimes you're on the sidelines and you just can't do anything to get your team out of the doldrums.
West Essex 1st and 10 from the Dover 39. Luciano looking long over the middle, incomplete, intended for DiLorenzo. Ball underthrown. Really the first poorly thrown ball Luciano has thrown. He completed 2 passes in the first half, one on a big 29-yard gain to set up the field goal by Tim DiLorenzo. The completion of Scott DiLorenzo down to the 10-yard line.
Coach Anello on that, Steve. When you get a turnover, what do? You try and go up top right away, get the quick touchdown, a quick strike, take all the gas out of the other team's tank. Unfortunately, it didn't work right that time.
2nd and 10, inside handoff. DeFazio picks up 9 yards down to the 31 of Dover. Jeremy Bryant, the nose guard, in on the tackle. A
West
9-yard pickup.
West Essex running game is a well-oiled machine. Look at the tackle pulling there, number 77. Just obliterating the defensive lineman.
Brian, that's classic wing T football. Those inside counter handoffs to your left halfback. Chappie Moore at Notre Dame does it to precision during his career down there. And it's when you get the blocking on the trap play, it looks gorgeous. Griffel, 1st down and more, down to the 25-yard line. The big fullback. He's had a great day here this afternoon. An emotional leader for West Essex. And the Knights are on the move once again. 1st and 10 at the Dover 25-yard line.
Luciano may not be throwing many passes, Steve, but he is so exquisite. And that is the word I need to use, exquisite, with his ball fakes. That's literally an art form. How to fake to one player but give the ball to another. The linebackers don't know who has the ball. They're too busy looking in the backfield trying to figure it out. Off to the races, the running backs go.
DeFazio breaks off a tackler. He's down the sideline. He's down to the 10-yard line, out of bounds. 15-yard pickup for the junior halfback, Darren DeFazio. And the West Essex Knights are within striking distance once again.
Watch DeFazio break this back. Griffel has a great block there. The line just keeps driving their legs. Downfield, number 52. Eric Lem had the defensive man that he was blocking 10 yards downfield. You tell your lineman, keep blocking until you hear that whistle blowing. And that play, West Essex just kept blocking and blocking and blocking.
1st and goal at the 9. Griffel pulls his way down to the 7 for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and goal. DeFazio enjoying a very impressive afternoon. 58 yards on the ground. He entered the game with 168. He scored 2 touchdowns here this afternoon.
Well, right now, Steve, West Essex has a little problem. Their main man, Griffel, the tank, is down on the field. Steve, on that last play, we hope Brian Griffel is all right as Coach Noah walks out in the field to see how the tank is doing. Maybe the tank has a little sand in one of his treads. On that last play, Steve, the belly play, if the quarterback had kept the ball and run the option, that is the play which works off the belly play, it would have been an easy 6 points. So we may see the belly play right now, the belly option.
Looking ahead on TV3 soccer action as Bill Battershall attends the injured Griffel. Livingston Westfield, Wednesday the 26th at 3 p.m., Thursday the 27th at 9 p.m., and Monday the 31st at 3 p.m. Soccer action, that's girls soccer action on TV3 in the ECT soccer semifinals. Tuesday, November 1st at 3 p.m., again on the 1st at 9:30 p.m., the 2nd at 3 p.m., the 3rd at 9, and Saturday the 5th at 2:30. Of course, a big quarterfinal game here in North Caldwell tomorrow morning as Montclair and West Essex, the number 5 and number 4 seeds, will meet in quarterfinal action. As Brian Griffel, thankfully, is up. Mr. Griffel, who even does the artist work on the outside of the West Essex football program. He does it all. Beautiful artistic job. He did a nice job stenciling in the Dover Tiger and the West Essex Knight. Mr. Griffel, who has Gettysburg and Ursinus among his college possibilities.
What a warrior, Steve. You got to love a kid like Griffel. He is the epitome of high school football. Everything he has, not too tall, but he's going to run low and hard and just keep going all the time. Here comes the option play, Steve.
Luciano pitching, and great pursuit that time. Goldberry came up. Jarvis Goldberry, the middle linebacker, to make that hit, and Dover, one of the more impressive defensive plays of the afternoon.
Outstanding play by Goldberry.
Loss of 2 yards in that play. Will be 3rd and goal from the 9.
Goldberry scrapes. That's what they call a linebacker scrape. He scrapes off the blocks, gets to the outside, and makes the play. Feathered, the old feather technique to stop the option. Goes from the quarterback to the pitchman. In the 53, he's a free man. He can make those kind of plays.
3rd and goal. Luciano with a play fake. Looking end zone. Intercepted. Antoine at the goal line trying to run it out. He's tackled at the 3-yard line by Johnston. Paul Antoine, the senior left cornerback, picking off that pass in the end zone. And a break for the Dover Tigers, snuffing out a potential field goal or touchdown opportunity for West Essex.
See, Luciano lets it go, but unfortunately, Antoine makes a very athletic play. He's trying to get the ball to Scott DiLorenzo in the end zone, who's in the corner of the end zone, just doesn't get it over the defensive back. Defensive back makes a play and has a nice run back to get it out of the end zone there. Talk about artwork, Steve. How about the artwork on the field here at West Essex? Hats off to Tom Penchator and his crew for that beautiful Knights artwork.
The grounds crew does a tremendous job. Mark it 1st and 10 at the 8-yard line.
Steve, you've got to be proud, though. Even though he didn't score in that play, you've got to be proud of your alma mater coming through here big today at the Travis Field.
On the 20th anniversary of the team that I was a tri-captain for, the 1974 Group 3 Section 2 champions. They also were number 1 in the state in 1980, and a great team led by Jim Sullivan. They finished number 1 in the Star Ledger. They lead 16-0. 5:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Mike White stopped for only a gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Dover.
That
Lasser and the nose guard, Tim Canizano, helping out along with Brian Griffel. A great job at the line of scrimmage by West Essex here this afternoon.
Steve, Dover, the wall that Dover's back is up against is starting to get a little thicker and a little taller. Being a ball control ground offense, it's not easy to come back when you're down 16-0.
And Dover also missing their fine co-captain, left guard, defensive tackle Mike Evans, who went out with a leg injury in the first half. He's been gone ever since, and that certainly hurts the trapping and blocking on the left side of the line. Eric Tolmage has stepped in, the sophomore left guard for Dover, on a big 3rd and 7 from the 11. Inside handoff to Rafael Martin, trying to get away, and he can't. He's dropped for a loss of 2. Great penetration. DiLorenzo, along with Brendan Johnston.
Here we go, Steve. You see the fine play here by the West Essex defense. A little inside counter play. Guards leading the way, but that West Essex defense is not only strong, but very quick and very athletic. And who's there once again, Steve? Griffel.
They marked that ball at the 15. Strange marking on that one, but it'll still be 4th and 4 as Mike White stands at his 5. Got to punt this one away. And there by far is his best punt. R.C. Renshaw watches it bounce out of bounds at the 49-yard line of West Essex, where the Knights will take over 1st and 10 with 4:04 to go in the third quarter. West Essex 16, Dover nothing. A bit of a surprise if you just tuned in. The Knights scored in the first quarter on a 26-yard field goal by Tim DiLorenzo. Darren DeFazio with his first TD run of 5 yards with 6:33 to go in the second quarter was 10-0 West Essex. Then DeFazio again with a 7-yard run to cap a 7-play, 34-yard drive. Extra point failed, 16-0 with 56 seconds to go in the first half, and that's where we stand now. 16-0 Knights. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Griffel picks up 3 yards on the belly series out of the wing tee. That Norm Bulash style fullback. He's low to the ground, 5'7", 195 pounds. Certainly tough to tackle.
Steve, today Coach Anello's team looks, with the tank involved, looks like an army out there. He's got the tank in the middle, and he's got the artillery all around him. Big front line, blow those defenders away, and then when the tank doesn't get the ball, he's got the DeFazio and DiLorenzo halfbacks who act as the infantry, no doubt, in this attack.
Griffel once again picks up maybe a yard. Down to the 47 of Dover. We'll set up a 3rd and 7. More importantly, though, the clock continues to move. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. West Essex enjoying a fine fall season. Their soccer team has had a resurgence. Of course, their nationally renowned field hockey team under Linda Leamy continues to rack up the victories. Girls tennis also having an excellent year. The Knights coming in here at 3-1, looking to improve to 4-1. Their only loss, 21-0 to Mendham in week 2. They've defeated Morris Hills, Hanover Park, and Booton. Griffel gets the call, and he's close to a first down at the 41-yard line.
Steve, watching Coach Anello between plays there, he just gave quarterback Steve Reptek the signal, not Reptek, Luciano the signal to keep running the same play, using those old hand motions, just do it again, do it again, do it again until they stop it.
They haven't been able to stop it very often, as DeFazio also helping on the lead blocking there for Griffel, who now has 76 yards. It'll be 4th and 1 as they mark the ball at the 41 of Dover.
One team, Steve, that's going to like the score if it continues this way is the neighbor Caldwell, the Chiefs of Caldwell. Be happy to see if Dover is defeated here today.
In the Group 2 playoff picture, as Griffel pulls ahead for the first down and more, down to the 37-yard line of Dover for a 4-yard pickup, and the Knights continue to pound.
Here it is, just running up behind that strong athletic line, getting driven back. There's no way right now that Dover has shown any ability to stop the ground onslaught of the West Essex Knights.
And the Dover Tigers, who have been shut out here today, came in having not scored under 27 points in any of their first 4 games. And here they've been shut out so far by a strong West Essex Knight performance.
Dover's hardly had the ball, Steve.
Of course, the 2 botched punt plays, the blocked punt by Lem, and then the side off the kick by White hurt them as a flag is thrown on DeFazio's run. DeFazio picks up 7, but flags thrown. Could have a hold, which we will. We'll bring that one back.
That's one of the first mistakes that West Essex front line has made today. That front line of Mike Cesare, Chris LaForgia, Victor Rulis, Tim Catanzano, and Eric Lem did an excellent job.
Catanzano has stepped in for Joe Corrado, a fine senior guard linebacker who blew his knee out, unfortunately, ligament cartilage damage against Mendham. West Essex produced 2 professional football players, Bill Wasilius, class of 63, Eddie Baker, class of 66. Eddie Baker went on to Lafayette, the New York Giants. Wasilius, Syracuse defensive end, and later a linebacker with the St. Louis Cardinals. 1st and 18, DeFazio cuts off the right side, finds an opening. He's down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Tremendous run by Darren DeFazio, who is enjoying a tremendous afternoon, the junior halfback.
Watch the left guard lead through that play. Pulls, leads through. DeFazio showing some great moves here. Slips one defender. Turns the speed on, cuts back, and is just brought down. Just brought down. Could have gone all the way on that. Almost did.
Pickup of 16 will be 2nd and 3. Just inside the 30-yard line of Dover. 1:08 remaining third quarter. Griffel breaks off one tackle, and he's close to a first down at the 26-yard line.
Steve, you got to wonder just how good Mendham High School is, watching the way that West Essex has played today, and then they get shut out by Mendham.
That was a strange game in the fact that Mendham had led 14-0 in the second quarter. West Essex drove down the field and just couldn't bang it into the end zone. Twice inside the 1-yard line, Griffel was denied on a 79-yard drive. That changes the game. Instead of being down 14-7, you're down 14-0. Mendham goes on to win 21-0 with a late TD, so the score kind of deceiving. 1st and 10 from the 22. Griffel, he's down to the 19-yard line, pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 as the West Essex ground assault out of the wing T offense continues to roll behind fullback Brian Griffel.
Same play once again, just a fullback belly play right up the middle, following Rulis, Contenzano, and LaForgia. Just can't stop that play. I feel you have to feel a little bit of concern and sympathy for the front three of Dover. They're just getting banged up in there.
Will be the last play of the third quarter as Griffel pulls his way down to the 9-yard line for another first down. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. We've gone 3 quarters complete here at Travis Field in North Caldwell. The West Essex Knights lead Dover 16-0. We'll be back with more right after this.
On our next Judaism Today program entitled In Mortal Danger, Pearl Whitkin, Executive Director of Pro-Israel, shares her concern for the security of the State of Israel as a result of recent developments. Please join us on TV3 each Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. for Judaism Today.
Back at beautiful Travis Field in North Caldwell, Steve Tober, Brian Winter getting set for fourth quarter action. It's been all West Essex leading the Dover Tigers 16-0. Dover, who leads this series 6-1-1, had won last year 21-20 in Dover, and in 1992 they also won 29-18. West Essex only victory came in 1991, 21-14. And after that West Essex win, Brian, Dover went on to win 8 games in a row, lost to Summit in the state final, went on to go 11-0 the next year, beat Summit in the final, and then went 7-2 the next year, and they were 4-0 entering this game 30 of 33. As we look at some third quarter statistics, West Essex 67 of 15 rushing.
Wow, Steve, look at that. Look at that domination in the third quarter by West Essex. 67 yards. Time of possession was probably all West Essex.
Really, the Knights have had great field position. Their offensive line has enabled them to amass huge time-consuming drives. They lead 16-0. They didn't score in the third period, but they've controlled the football, run clock off. They now have a first and goal at the 10-yard line. Looking to punch another one in. They were denied in the third quarter on an interception by Paul Antoine on a third and goal opportunity from the 9, so they'll look to amend for that one. Here with a first and goal.
More importantly, Steve, West Essex has not let the Dover offense have the ball.
And Griffel down to the 3. He is so tough to bring down by one man. That time fellow Lewis, the left linebacker, finally brought him down.
I'll tell you, Steve, I'm glad I'm not a linebacker out there today having to stop this guy. He is one tough son of a gun.
The tank, Brian Griffel. And he looks shaken up there.
I think he's earned his pay today, Coach. Let's get him out and get somebody else the ball.
That ankle took a crack.
Watch this play here. Griffel just pulling away from the defenders. And I think what happens here is that somebody comes down on his ankle as they go to tackle him. That's where he's brought down by that ankle. Hopefully he'll be all right and be able to get back up and play a little bit more for today.
A 6-yard pickup down to the 4. It'll be second and goal from the 4 as Griffel continues to amass yardage figures.
See, the way the trainer is pushing back on his toe, it looks as if he may have not an ankle, but perhaps a calf strain of some type. They seem to be icing down. You get a great close-up look by our cameraman there.
Bill Battershaw applying the ice, the fine trainer. Of course, Tom Pengator, the athletic director of West Essex, began as a trainer here at WE in 1975. Looking ahead on TV3, scoreboard. Live program Saturday nights at 7:30. Get all the scores from around the TV3 area and throughout northern and central New Jersey. Repeated Sundays at 9. Highlights, scores, and more. One of the few cable programs in the state of its kind, scoreboard.
Let's hope that Griffel's all right, Steve. He's too good a player to... We don't want any player, of course, to get hurt, but he's just too important a player to West Essex, a fine West Essex team as we've seen today.
And West Essex, which has some of the greatest facilities of any school in northern New Jersey. The tremendous weight room, which strength coach Bill Wasilius runs in the middle school, is second to none. On a recent trip to Gettysburg, Brian Griffel was asked about the facilities at Gettysburg. He said they were nice, but at West Essex, we have some fantastic facility that is even beyond that college facility. It's really one of the few that is beyond repair. As you see, Tom Pengator, the athletic director, has done a superb job as well in helping these programs continue on the upsurge at the North Caldwell-based regional school. The towns of Fairfield, Essex Fells, Roseland, and North Caldwell all combine at WE.
Tom Pengator was one of the first athletic trainers hired in North Jersey. As you know, Steve, most schools now have athletic trainers, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have as a football coach, to have a man who knows.
And Brian, there's nothing like consistency in your coaching program. At West Essex, Donnie Albanese, who was my freshman coach back in 1971, he is still the freshman head coach at West Essex. He worked with Dick Hapward for years under Ronnie Anello. Dick Hapward now is over at East Orange as the head coach, but Donnie Albanese, I mean, you talk about a feeder program. We see Ronnie Anello there in the middle above his senior tri-captain and Bill Battershaw, the fine trainer. But the consistency that you develop in assistant coaches like Dave Montgomery, who's standing just on the sideline there about the 20-yard line, the fine line coach now, who's been with the program for 20 years. Monty, out of your Sinus College, who's done such a super job. As we Griffel being helped off the field. 20 carries, 94 yards.
Everybody move out
We
of the
hope
way.
he's okay.
What a great player, Steve. What a good young man.
He now has 658 yards on the season, and we're only in week 5.
He could be an all-county selection right there, Steve, no doubt.
Second and goal at the 4. Churning for the touchdown. And we'll wait for the indication. Was D'Angelo. Mario D'Angelo moving in at fullback. He's down close. It'll mark it at the 1. It'll be third and goal at the 1. Mario D'Angelo just shy of the goal line. D'Angelo, a 6', 200-pound junior linebacker and backup fullback. So third and goal for West Essex. Luciano is dropped for a loss back to the 4. Goldberry, the middle linebacker, Jarvis Goldberry with the stop on that broken play as Luciano.
This comes down to pride now, Steve. The Dover team may be down, but they still have a lot of heart. In this situation, you tell your linemen to get down as low as they can and literally dive through the offensive linemen, precluding any push off the line by the offense. And of course, Jarvis Goldberry, a 6'2", 195-pound junior, gets in there to make the play. West Essex taking a timeout, though.
You go for the field goal here, Brian, up 16-0. DiLorenzo certainly has the range. He kicked a 26-yard field goal in the first quarter. The ball marked just at the 2-yard line. It will be no more than a 20-yard attempt. Or do you go to punch it in? You're comfortably ahead here with 10:24 to go in the fourth quarter, and your team is just dominated in terms of ball control.
Well, if you get the 3 points, Steve, you're up by 2 touchdowns and a field goal. 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, and a field goal. That's pretty safe. But high school football, kicking is always a questionable aspect of the game, so you're at the 1 yard line. What the heck, go for it.
DiLorenzo is 14 of 17 in extra points. It looks now that he will line it up just inside the 20. We'll call it a 19-yard attempt. I'm sorry, just line it up with the inches inside the 10 at the 9-yard line, where R.C. Renshaw will hold. LaForgia will snap. It'll be a 19-yard field goal attempt for Tim DiLorenzo. The ball is down, it's up, and it's good. Tim DiLorenzo, a 19-yard field goal, and West Essex now leads 19-0.
Nice kick by DiLorenzo. Steve, probably a good decision by Coach Nell there. Not that he could make a bad one up 16-0, but giving your kicker a chance to practice in the big games, that's very important. Obviously, a 10-play, 51-yard drive. DiLorenzo with a 19-yard field goal. Knights controlling the ball once again in the third quarter. Hats off to the West Essex Knights team for this stunning performance thus far in this game.
It's 16-0 at halftime, a scoreless third quarter, but West Essex controlled the football. Their drive carries over to the fourth quarter, and with 10:19 to go in the ball game, 19-0 on the 19-yard field goal by sophomore Tim DiLorenzo, his second field goal of this afternoon. Beautiful shot of Travis Field. The beautiful backdrop, the leaves, a perfect hue, yellow and orange and red. Gorgeous late October afternoon for high school football.
Steve, over the last couple of weeks, Morris County, of which I am a resident, as you know, has not done well against the Essex County teams, of which you are a lifelong resident.
That is true. Rafael Martineau, he breaks free. He has 4.5 speed. He could be knocked out finally by DiLorenzo at the 22-yard line, but there we see it. Rafael Martin, we talked about his speed earlier. You give him any kind of opening. He's returned one already for a touchdown earlier in the season, and that time he breaks free. And the furthest penetration, they're going to mark that ball. They say went out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
You see in the replay here, Steve, Martin gets one little slice to run through, and that's exactly what he does. And the speed, he turns it on. County long jump champion has the ability to accelerate in a very short distance, and only because Tim DiLorenzo also possesses excellent speed is he stopped.
A 65-yard return. Mike White on the first down from the 25 is knocked down. Mike Cesare, the defensive right tackle, making a big hit, number 77, along with Brendan Johnston, number 76, the Knights' leading tackler coming in.
Mike White has had a couple nice runs today, but Mike White has really been a key for Coach Jerry Tardivi's team as a defender. He saved 2 or 3 touchdowns by stopping Griffel deep in the defensive backfield of Dover.
And more importantly, the clock continues to move. 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter. 19-0 West Essex. 2nd and 10. Play fake by Reptac. He looks deep and overthrows Marrero. Not a badly thrown ball, but good coverage for West Essex. R.C. Renshaw. Darren DeFazio has had a tremendous game this afternoon, helping out in coverage.
Steve, also back there was big number 78. Chris LaForgia, an offensive guard, on covering on that play. What an athlete.
A linebacker who's come in for Griffel, who was carried off there. LaForgia, the fine junior, getting some time defensively for the Knights. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 25. Flags thrown.
Looks like we may have a little...
Could be encroachment against West Essex.
Little too close in that neutral zone there.
So it sets up now a 4th and 5 situation. The Dover Tigers with their best field position of this afternoon at the West Essex 20-yard line. 3rd and 5.
Hopefully the Dover Tigers will be able to get on the board here and make something happen in the fourth quarter.
Reptac again with a play fake. Under good pressure by Cesare. He gets it away.
Excellent coverage, Steve.
Intended for Mena. Good coverage again. LaForgia over there, the linebacker.
Also in on that play, Mario D'Angelo covering the back out of the backfield, the wing T waggle play.
4th and 5 at the 20 for Dover. 9:15 to go, fourth quarter.
Looking ahead for West Essex, if they can win this game, their schedule after this is Par Hills, and then they have a big game versus St. Joseph's of Montvale, which is a perennial powerhouse in Bergen County.
A non-league unfair against an NAJIL team. On 4th and 5, rep tack for Rafael Martin, and just beyond the senior halfback, who was wide open on the left flat, and the West Essex Knights will take over as the Dover finest offensive surge of the afternoon goes for naught.
Coach Jerry Tardivi, you got to feel for Coach Tardivi. Great call there. That's the old waggle throwback. Quarterback fakes the sweep. Running back runs out in the backfield, and he's open, Steve. He's got a chance to make this play. Ball is just thrown a little too far ahead of him. Could have been 6.
West Essex Knights take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. Griffle's back in there, sore ankle or not. He picks up a yard. Nothing more. Goldberry, Antoine, in on the tackle for the Dover Tigers. So Ronanello, figuring his burly senior fullback is not too badly hampered by that ankle. He's back in there, teaming with DiLorenzo and DeFazio in the backfield, along with quarterback Nicky Luciano.
You might say that the tank got a retread, Steve.
2nd and 9 for the West Essex Knights. Play fake and a handoff to DiLorenzo. Good penetration, though, by the Dover Tigers.
Martell Ellis made that play coming up. Excellent tackle by Martell Ellis. And, of course, once again, that middle linebacker in Dover's 53 defense, Jarvis Goldberry.
No gain. 3rd and 8 for West Essex at the 22. The clock continues to move. 8:13 to go in the fourth quarter. West Essex with a commanding 19-0 lead.
Dover coaches have probably told their team to reach for it, grab, knock loose, do anything you can, but just get us the ball back. We need the ball.
Handoff to DeFazio, and Goldberry again in on the stop at the 24-yard line, a gain of 2. It'll be 4th and 6.
The Dover defense is an interesting one. He plays a 53, not the typical 52. Putting a linebacker directly behind the nose guard, that makes it difficult to block that middle linebacker. That middle linebacker obviously has to make a lot of plays in this defense.
West Essex goes into punt formation. A good bounce taken by Thomas at the 41. And he's brought down at his own 48-yard line, where Dover will take over with 7:16 to go in the contest.
Excellent coverage once again by the West Essex special teams, knowing the speed that Dover possesses can make the big play. West Essex must get down, and they do. Once again, captain number 68, Victor Arulis, the center, 6', 215-pounder, right down there in the middle of the action, Steve.
And Gabe Ballard getting a chance to punt there for West Essex. A very impressive physical specimen, 6', 170-pound senior, getting off the punt there for WE. Inside handoff to Mike White. He picks up 2 yards, close to midfield. The market at the 50. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Dover Tigers. 6:50 to go in the contest.
The defensive front for West Essex has just done the job today, Steve. Eric Lem, Tim Contendano, and Brendan Johnston, outstanding job up front. Nothing has gotten through the middle.
Of course, Eric Lem from a defensive side of the big block punt, which led to the second West Essex touchdown, a 34-yard drive, capped by DeFazio TD run. On 2nd and 8, incomplete, intended for White on the near flat. It'll set up a 3rd and 8. Of course, West Essex has had some great coaches over the year. Steve Tafaro, back in the early 1970s. In fact, he was a coach up through the 73 season. Freddie Keel came in 1974, coached that sectional state championship team, which I had the opportunity to play for in 74. Bill Rocca, who came in as an assistant with Fred Keel, took over the program, coached them to the 1980 Group 4 state championship and #1 in the state. Jimmy Benedict was here for a year in 1986, and then Ron Anello, the last 8 seasons for the West Essex Knights. A draw play, good coverage And good pickup for Rafael Martin down to the 35-yard line for a first down for the Dover Tigers. Impressive run by Martin.
Outstanding run. You can see there, ran a simple draw play, gave Martin an opportunity to read the blocks of his lineman. Boom, he was off. 15-yard gain on that one play. The best running play of the half. Rafael Martin, excellent speed, as we noted before, a long jumper extraordinaire.
First and 10 at the 35 for Dover. Inside handoff to White. He bowls his way down to the 31-yard line. Pick up a 4. Mike White on a counter play from the left halfback position. A play West Essex has had tremendous success with this afternoon. A player down on the field for the Knights. Bill Battershaw and company have been busy attending to players who have been injured. It's a warm afternoon, but not too warm. A beautiful day, probably high 60s in temperature. Sun has come out after a cloudy start. Couldn't ask for better weather.
What a beautiful day, Steve. What a great way to spend an afternoon in North Jersey. Steve, let me ask you a question. See, some of those coaches who are at West Essex, outstanding coaches. Jim Benedict, championship last year. How many state sectional championships has Fred Keel won, Steve?
Freddie Keel had a number at DePaul and also later at Wayne Valley after he left West Essex.
I think he was the only coach in recent history to win at Manchester Regional, too. He won the 1 year he was there.
The 1 year at Manchester. Billy Rocca now at Hapatcong had nice success at Bergen Catholic after he left West Essex. Ronnie Anello, of course, comes out of the Montclair High program as a player in 1976. Went on for a fine career at both Montclair State and Trenton State. He was the center as Mike Cesare shaken up, the junior tackle, but he looks like he's okay. Coming off with Bill Battershaw, the fine trainer for the West Essex Knights. Anello played against Sammy Mills, the all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, while Mills was at Montclair State and Anello was at Trenton State, a great NJAC championship game in 1980. And then Ronnie got to start coaching at at Montclair under Butch Fortunato. Interesting enough, Ronnie's father, Bull Anello, played under Butch Fortunato in the 1943 undefeated Montclair High team. So what lineage through Montclair for the Anello family? Reptack on 2nd and 7, almost intercepted. Lem had it. It was right in his hands. Defensive Eric Lem, who already has a blocked punt here this afternoon. The ball right in his numbers. And as a defensive tackle, you don't expect to see that ball.
What a surprise to Eric Lem, but he's right there ready to make the play. Just, slips off his fingers. Can you believe it? What a day Eric Lem has had. What a day indeed in this sunny afternoon here in West Essex. I don't know whatever Eric Lem did before this game. You know he's going to do it before the rest of the games for this year.
It'll be 3rd and 6 at the 32 of West Essex. 5:35 to go in the fourth quarter. Reptack, play fake, but he hands it off to Martin, who gets out to the 26.
Coach Tardivi changing things up a little. Looked like he was in a little different formation there, giving his man Martin an opportunity to run the ball and read both sides of the ball, picking and choosing his hole.
Close to a first down. We'll have an official timeout for a measurement down at the 26-yard line. Beautiful delay action there by Reptack and handing off to Rafael Martin, his fine halfback.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that the only coach in Montclair Kimberly Academy history to ever take a team to the playoffs, Kevin Monahan, is now one of Jerry Tardivi's great assistants at Dover High School. Hats off to Kevin Monahan.
Kevin Monahan, who preceded Brian Winter at Montclair Kimberly Academy, led MKA to a 6-3 record in 1987, lost to Pope John 30-9 in a parochial B playoff game I happened to be at. It was one of the coldest days in state football playoff history up in Sparta. And Kevin Monahan's team, who led 9-0 at halftime against Pope John, ended up losing 30-9.
Speaking of Pope John, Steve, how about the situation that came to light this week? We hope that works out well for Pope John, a perennial powerhouse.
3 freshmen supposedly used inelligibly by Pope John. You'll be hearing more about that. 4th and inches. Reptack, a ball fake, an unusual play. Cesare pursues along with Keenan, and Reptack out of bounds. We'll see.
Short of the first down, I believe, Steve.
Where they mark it. Steve Reptack. Kind of an unusual play on 4th and inches for Dover. They're going to mark that ball back at the 28-yard line. So the West Essex Knights
Be second down.
They did give the first down to Dover on the play previously. The yard markers did not move, which confused us. So that was a first down play, a loss of 2 on the rollout by Reptax. Will be 2nd and 12 for Dover.
Steve, there were 3 fakes in that last play by Dover. The quarterback kept it and looking downfield for the big play.
And the referee really faked out everybody else with his indication of first down. A pass on 2nd down. Great coverage by West Essex. D'Angelo, DeFazio, Renshaw, Gareffa, all back there for West Essex. They have had a nose for the football, whether it's been in the flats, whether it's been downfield, whether it's been at the line of scrimmage. The West Essex defense shutting out a team which had come in having not scored less than 27 points in any of their previous 4 games. They beat Don Bosco 27-12, Parsippany Hills 33-8, Boonton 39-6, Parsippany 28-7 last week, but West Essex has snuffed them out here this afternoon, leading 19-0. Pass overthrown by White, who was smacked by monster back Mark Heenan on a 3rd and 12 situation.
It's almost as if every play Dover tries to run, West Essex knows it's coming beforehand. They faked the draw. They ran the draw effectively. They faked that. He comes back to throw a screen out here, and woof, as they say.
Poor Mike White left naked by his quarterback with that poorly thrown pass because Mike White took a hit from Mark Heenan, the monster back. And that's not a situation you want for one of your best players, Mike White, to be left vulnerable to a hit.
Although Dover is down right now, our hats off to Mike White. He has done an exceptional job on defense today for Dover, Steve, saving probably 3 touchdowns with his tackles as a safety. What a competitor, Steve, no doubt.
Jerry Tardivi, whose team had entered this contest, winning 30 of their last 33. They're about to go down to one of their rare defeats, 7-2 last year, 11-0 in 1992. They'll fall to 4-1. West Essex will improve to 4-1.
Stay in the hunt.
With a field goal in the first quarter of 26 yards by DiLorenzo. They took a 10-0 lead with 6:33 to go in the second quarter on a 5-yard run by Darren DeFazio. Extra point by DiLorenzo, 10-0. And then DeFazio again with a 7-yard run with 56 seconds to go in the second quarter. The extra point failed to a 16-0. And then DiLorenzo with 10:19 to go in the fourth quarter, a 19-yard field goal, 19-0. The Knights with 4:49 to go, 4th and 12 at the 28. Reptac looking for Martin, who turned away from the ball, and Keenan gets a hand on it to break it up for West Essex. And the Knights will take over.
Dover went with a play they had an opportunity to score on before. Almost happened, but a great play by the West Essex defense. Gets his hand up there and knocks his ball down. That would have been 6 if he hadn't done that. 2 great plays in a row. Exciting day for that young man right there.
Mark Keenan, whose brother Brian was a 2-year starting quarterback at West Essex under Ronnie Anello. First-year starter, very smart, intelligent monster back, 5'7", 175-pound senior. Coming up with a big pass breakup. And the Knights take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 4:43 to go, and they'll try to run out the clock, leading 19-0. Griffel finds some running room. He's across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Pickup of 14 yards, a first down for the West Essex Knights.
I do not think that Coach Anello is going to throw the ball too much during this next series, Steve.
No reason to, Brian. 4:36 to go. Clock moving.
Complete ground domination by West Essex here. Coach Ronnie Anello has got to be a happy camper right now. On the other side, Coach Tardivi, I would not want to be on that bus ride going back to Western Morris County today.
1st and 10 at the 42 for the Knights. Griffel gets the call once again. Picks up maybe 2. That'll be 2nd and 8. And more importantly, the clock down to a 4-minute warning. And then I'll advance the clock. Ronnie Anello, who started out his first 2 seasons at West Essex going 1-8 and 3-6, but he has turned it around. He'll improve today to 33, 16 and 2 in his last 5+ seasons at WE.
That's not a bad record, Steve. I think a lot of people enjoy that. But you have to work hard for that kind of record. To turn a program around is not an easy thing to do.
Griffel got the call once again. Pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 5 at the 47-yard line. Clock moves, 3:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Ron Anello, the 36-year-old head coach.
Looking ahead for West Essex, Steve, next week they face Par Hills, which another Morris County team which has had its troubles in the recent past.
Griffel, the tank, and he moves behind his offensive line close to a first down. Across midfield down to the 47-yard line, and there we saw the tank epitomized.
Did you see that pile move, Steve? There must have been 15 players in that pile, and it just rolled forward.
Chris LaForge to the left guard doing a nice job.
One player, there's 4 players for Dover there, and the whole offensive line and the tank right in the middle, they're just driving forward. Great leg drive there. Obviously a lot of sled work done by this West Essex team.
And great work in the weight training room under strength coach Bill Wasilius. The West Essex Knights are extremely powerful in the trenches. 1st and 10 at the 47. Griffel gets down to the 43-yard line for a 5-yard pickup. Clock continues to move. 2:22 to go in the fourth quarter. We hope you've enjoyed this ball game on TV3. Steve Tober, Brian Winter, and enjoying a beautiful fall afternoon here at Travis Field in North Caldwell. As we see Griffel, the tank, he's got to be approaching that 100-yard mark this afternoon. He's well over 600 yards on the season, the senior fullback.
Not a coach. There's not a coach in New Jersey who wouldn't love to have that young man on his team. What a great example of fortitude and desire.
Griffel again gets the call. Not much. Back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 5. Down to 138. Want to thank Dennis Wilson, West Essex Sports Information Director, for helping us with some pregame information on rushing figures and tackle figures, etc. for the West Essex Knights. Tom Penchator, their fine athletic director. Joe Garvey, their fine principal. That time DeFazio close to another West Essex first down into the 39-yard line. It'll be just short. It'll be 4th and 1 for the Knights.
Fazio getting the ball, put his head down, drive the legs, getting close to that first down. Steve, you've got to be proud of your alma mater today.
My alma mater?
Steve Tober, the one-time tri-captain. Now that I have my Trivial Pursuit questions answered. And Steve Tober now the veritable smorgasbord of facts, historical facts of West Essex football.
Well, enjoyed a fine career with some great players. Ray Mignogna was inducted into the Hall of Fame as Griffel picks up a first down for the Knights, it appears. Ray Mignogna was a fine tackle on the 1974 team as a junior, was inducted in the Hall of Fame last night for West Essex, a member of the class of 1976. Ray, along with Vic Vina, an outstanding tackle on our 74 sectional championship team. Bob Lasasso, the fine quarterback. Eric Pierce, the all-Essex halfback on that team, who unfortunately got injured that year, week 8 against Morristown in a game for battling for number 1 in the state. Morristown, Brian, had Rick Sofield, who went on for the Minnesota Twins as an outfielder, was a fine quarterback on that Morristown team. Sonny Holt, who went on to the University of Illinois, fine halfback. Mickey Rader, who went on to West Point as a fullback. Some great teams in the old Jersey Hills Conference back in the 70s. They're saying it was not a first down by Griffel, and the Dover Tigers will take over with 42 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and the West Essex Knights with a 19-0 lead.
Steve, I only wish I could corroborate those facts that you just expounded to the audience here, but at that time in 1974, I was just learning how to read in Miss Callahan's first grade class.
Brian Winter, a very youthful color commentator, former head coach at Montclair Kimberly Academy in Palisades Park. We look at the first down differential. 15 for West Essex, only 2 for the Dover Tigers.
Steve, this has got to be a first for Dover. Only 2 first downs. This is probably hasn't happened in Jerry Tardivi's tenure as head coach.
Di Lorenzo in on the sack for the West Essex Knights.
This guy Di Lorenzo, the 5'11", 175-pounder, and Steve.
And John Sesta also in on the tackle
Both guards pulling. DiLorenzo fights through one block.
And Sesta.
Right there for West Essex. Total domination. And Steve?
And the clock runs out, and the West Essex Knights have defeated the Dover Tigers 19-0. An impressive performance by Coach Ron Anello's team with a ground assault led by Brian Griffel and Darren DeFazio. And Ron Anello can walk off the field as his team improves to 4-1. Dover drops to 4-1 with their first loss of the season. The final score, once again, West Essex 19, Dover nothing. Stay tuned for our post-game interviews. We'll be right back.
I dreamed all of the animals would be safe forever. I dreamed our water got clean again. I would like more trees to grow. And the ozone layer will get strong again. Fish are neat, and I don't want any of them to die. I dreamed our earth will get well again, because everyone who lived here started doing things to help it. Help our planet to get better. Make every day Earth Day.
Back at Travis Field in North Caldwell, where the West Essex Knights have defeated the Dover Tigers 19-0. Steve Tober, I'm joined by Eric Lem, the fine senior tri-captain, two-way tackle for the West Essex Knights. Had a big blocked punt this afternoon, Eric. That play, which led to West Essex' first touchdown of the day in second quarter, was an awfully big play. Tell us about that blocked punt.
Well, they had their blocking wasn't that good. I just came right through the line and blocked the punt. They only have a 7-yard punter, so I just came right through the line and blocked the punt.
Yeah, the punter who normally would be, say, 12 or 14 yards deep, was only 8 or 9 yards deep. That certainly gives you an advantage to come in across the line.
Yeah, I just came right through and blocked it.
Now, Eric, a senior tri-captain, you guys dominated at the line of scrimmage. The blocking up front by you, LaForgia, Catanazzo at the guards, Rulis certainly at center. Cesare tackle was very impressive.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played this year. We had a good week of practice, and we're looking forward to playing next week.
Well, good luck the rest of the way for Eric Lem. Congratulations. Big block punt this afternoon, a great line play. Eric Lem, the senior tackle. We're going to bring in Darren DeFazio, the junior halfback. Darren, 2 touchdown runs this afternoon, 5 and 7 yards. The Knights really dominated offensively.
Yeah, we did. We came out really pumped up. Feel as if we get no respect, you know. Everyone picked over to win, and we just came out really psyched. We really wanted to win.
Now, as we see on one of your touchdown runs in the contest in that second quarter, one set up by the Lem block punt, another by a shank off the foot of the punter, White for Dover. Your running that's seen on the counter plays, the inside reverses and such, were just so impressive.
They were. Our left guard, Chris LaForgia, got up the hole real nice, threw some good blocks, and Brian Griffel, the fullback, kicked out real well, and there's just a huge hole. There's really nothing to it.
Now, you came alive with those 2 touchdown runs today. You helped supplement the fine work by Brian Griffel, who will meet fairly soon, the senior fullback. The blocking up front, really a total team effort by a West Essex team that some people, or most of the pundits in the newspapers, picked to be the loser here today.
They did. I don't think anyone in the papers picked us to win at all, so that just motivated us, you know, even more. We just came out more fired up.
And defensively, you and Gareffa in the secondary, along with R.C. Renshaw, did a nice job in coverage and the opportunities when Reptac did try to pass for Dover.
Yeah, I feel we played really well. We feel like they couldn't pass on us at all. We feel like no one can, and we just have good coverage. We got it done.
Darren DeFazio, 2 touchdowns this afternoon. A strong day from the halfback position for West Essex. We're going to bring in the tank. Brian Griffel, the senior fullback linebacker. And Tank, you went down briefly in that fourth quarter. You say it was cramps.
Yeah, we were practicing all week in the cold, and then all of a sudden it's real hot, and I just wasn't ready for the cold weather. So, you know, I just cramped it up, and then it happened to again down here again. So same leg, but.
Well, we're glad to hear it's only the Charlie horse cramp, because you have a long season ahead of you. A big victory for your team here this afternoon.
Well, all the, you know, like Darren said, every writer in the paper picked us, you know, to lose, and then plus it really helps us out PowerPoints. So you know, I think that, and we were all pumped up for this game. Like, they weren't coming into our house and taking it from us. You know, we were practiced hard all week, and it's just really good victory.
No, you're too young to remember Norm Bulash from the Philadelphia Eagles, but your coach, Ron Anello, compares you to him. You run low to the ground. You're a classic fullback in the wing T. You're the prototype. You might be 5'7", 5'8", but you really are a strong runner along that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they I always remember from Little League that low man always wins. So I remember all my coaches always telling me that, and it just sticks in my mind. I just do it all the time.
And you're a hard hitter from your linebacker position. You guys shut out a team that hadn't scored less than 27 points in their first 4 games.
Yeah, like I said, we were just really pumped up. I mean, no one, no matter who they brought in today, they were not going to take us. I mean, all week we were just really fired up for this game, and we weren't going to lose.
The tank, Brian Griffel, with a strong afternoon. Congratulations, and good luck the rest of the way. It's
Thanks
a big
lot.
run to the Iron Hills Conference.
Right, thanks, boy.
Brian Griffel, Coach Ron Anello, the former Montclair Mountie Trenton State Lion. Ron, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
One of your biggest victories in maybe your 8 years here.
Yeah, it's up there with them. It's up there with a couple of them, yeah, and without a doubt. And that's a good Dover team, and we went out and got it done today. That's for sure.
And Ron, in talking to you during the week, and looking at last year's team, a 5-4 season, great expectations. You told me things were being played a little bit more low key this fall. Maybe that's paying back with a 4-1 start.
I think so. We just go out. We have a very simple philosophy here. Just every day we get on the practice field and we walk back in. We just want to be a better team. We don't look ahead. Every play we just want to be better. So
And of course, Ronnie, of course, your players enjoy you. We're showing a clip of you being doused after the game with a liquid refreshment. Your players have really come together here. Here in your 8th season, you have some program.
Well, the kids here are wonderful. They do a great job. Over the last 8 years, we've had wonderful kids. They all work hard. They're a pleasure to teach and coach, our total student body here. And I like it. I really do. And as long as kids work hard and come out with a great attitude, that's all we expect from them. And the rest will take care of itself.
Now, of course, in the state playoff picture, it's a tough nut for you guys in Group 3 in terms of power points. But the conference is within possibilities, at least maybe for a tie. Mendham has the 1 victory over you, but they still play Dover in 2 weeks.
This is a very tough conference, Steve. There's some tough Group 2 schools that can play with anyone. I mean, and we're just a victim of circumstance. But as far as going for our first goal is always to have a winning season. Second is to make a run for the conference. And if Dover can knock off Mendham, we beat Dover, and we maybe can share in that. And that's what we're hoping for. But now we're just concentrating on Par Hills and want to be 5-1. That's about it.
And consistency. If you win next week, your 6th straight winning season,
Exactly.
2nd best in Essex County behind Caldwell.
Exactly. That's like I said, that's goal number 1. Always to have a winning season. And if we can accomplish that, I think it'll be the first time ever in the school's history that they've had a string of winning seasons that long.
Well, Ron, and congratulations. I feel a connection with you with your Montclair roots.
I feel the same way.
I work for the Montclair Times as sports editor. Ron, the former great player at Montclair High, and good luck the rest of the way, Ron. Ron Anello, Brian Winter, and Brian, Coach Ron Anello, rather youthful looking 36. He certainly feels young today. His team came up with a big performance to improve to 4-1 on the season.
A great day today by Coach Anello. His entire army, not only the tank, but the artillery and the infantry. He had everybody going the right way. Steve, West Essex is a team that deserves respect. They play all Morris County teams. The Morris County papers don't write about them. Since they play all those Morris County teams, the Essex papers don't write that much about them. But Essex County should respect the West Essex program. Outstanding effort today. You got to be pleased with Ron Anello's performance as a coach and with this whole program.
And Brian Winter, talking as a former coach and talking to Ron Anello about kind of low-key in the preseason, great expectations last year. They finished 5-4, losing 3 games by 6 points or less. Maybe that's a good strategy to pay off. They kind of lowballed it this season in terms of expectations, and here they are at the 4-1 start and a huge victory over Dover.
It's a tough thing to do. You don't know whether to get in the team and tell them they're going to do great, going to be the greatest team of all time, or to low-key it. Let's just try and improve. Let's just do a little bit better each week. Ron Anello's desire this year to keep it low-key has obviously paid off. That's a coaching decision. It's a little bit of intuition, but in a lot of respect, it's a whole lot of luck how you approach the season.
Well, the West Essex wing T was working to full perfection here this afternoon. They come away with a big 19-0 victory over the Dover Tigers. For Director Steve Shepard, for my colleague Brian Winter, I'm Steve Tober saying so long from Travis Field in North Caldwell.